today we have a beautiful chapter in our section Riders Spotlight. And now, you know, I'm staying here. Yeah, you guess, all of course, my friend Boris to be part today for this section. Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, Boris is a fan to filming also. Oh yeah. Okay. We want to start now. For that purpose, yes, I asking to Boris, leave wherever you fit better your camera. And yeah, stay with me because I want to start to asking to you different questions in that session, the Riders Spotlight. Okay, Boris, welcome to my section Riders Spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to having you here. Of course, happy to riding together like always, right?
Right.
Well, my first question is, Boris, how long have you been riding motorcycles and what inspired you to start, right?
Yeah. Well, the very first motorcycle I got, that was back in 1998, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was a one-cylinder, 32 horsepower Soviet motorcycle. Because I grew up in the Soviet Union in Siberia, so that was my first motorcycle. Called Planet Sport. So since then it got stolen.
Oh my God.
A year and a half later, since I got it, it got stolen and never found.
Oh.
So then many years after, which is by now 20 years ago, I moved to Canada, and my second motorcycle I got here in Canada in 2008. And since then I've been riding with a bit of brakes, but now I ride two motorcycles now. This Africa Twin and the other vintage 1987 Honda Super Magna.
Okay. But listen, okay, remember, is how long you been riding motorcycles? Since when?
1998.
It means you how many years old you have in that moment? You remember?
So how many?
How old are you in that moment?
So I was 32.
32.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, wait. Yes, I was 32.
32, right? Okay. In your case, in your experience, what inspired to you to riding?
Well, what inspired me to start riding?
Yes.
Nothing particular. Though probably no. It was just always attractive to me, but also there was one French movie with a very famous French actor, Jean-Paul Belmondo. I really like him, and he played lots of detectives and some comedies too. And in one movie, there was a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a four-cylinder with four pipes. I believe it was a Kawasaki with four pipes, vintage bike from the 80s. And when I saw that bike in the movie and I heard the sound,
oh yeah, you fall in love immediately.
oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then some friends of mine, when I was 17, they got their motorcycles first time, but my mom had no money for me for that.
Oh, I know.
I had no money, I just finished my high school. So I just kept dreaming about motorcycles.
Beautiful. What type of motorcycle do you own? You say something about that, but the question now is why did you choose that kind of bike? Why? I know you have two bikes, but
Yeah,
tell to the people why.
Well, the very first one, it's a cruiser. It's a vintage cruiser, and I saw it first time on the street, and I really loved the design of it.
Wow.
I didn't know what kind of bike was it. I figured it was a Honda, and then I did a research. You know what? It turned out to be a very special, very limited edition, only 2 years in production, 1987 Honda Super Magna. And it's a V4 engine with four pipes. So it's beautiful looking motorcycle, very special. kind of has a unique design. So I just fell in love, and that was my motorcycle of my dreams.
Wow.
But then later I got an Africa Twin for more of adventure riding style, to explore more off-road, gravel roads, because no problems.
What else you like from this Africa Twins? Say it's not the regular Africa Twins, I think so, right?
Well, it's a standard 2020 standard
2020.
with this robotic transmission, PCT, dual clutch transmission. So no clutch, no regular clutch. For me, I love it. It's very easy to ride, especially in the traffic.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Here we go. Third. Can you describe your most memorable motorcycle ride or trip?
Well, I got two. The very, very first ride, because I had no license, no insurance.
Okay.
I never rode a motorcycle before,
Oh my God.
but I so badly wanted one, so I bought it. And I had to ride that motorcycle for almost 30 kilometers through town and traffic on the highway.
It was here in Vancouver, in Canada.
Back in
back home?
Siberia, yeah.
Oh, in your back home. Back.
So, and that was my first ever time riding motorcycle. I never rode one before. I had an idea how it's done, so I managed to ride it. I didn't crash. By the time I came home, my hands were like
Oh my God. I imagine that. Wow. Really memorable.
memorable ride was on this Africa Twin here in BC.
Wow.
And we went to a very beautiful place up north from here for 8 hours of riding, Perù Canyon. You know, that
I know that area.
special place. And I had a spectacular crush there, so that was very memorable.
Oh yeah, I saw some pictures about that. What happened in that for that? What?
Well, I was riding stock tires, not these knobbies. That was stock tires on a very sketchy gravel, like marble gravel, right? Really bad.
I see.
And that was my first time on that kind of road on stock tires, and it was so slippery. And I made it to the canyon okay, but then on the way back from the canyon, I climbed out of the canyon okay, and then I felt myself a bit too confident. And I started riding in a standing position like 75 kilometers an hour on stock tires on that bad gravel. And then in 1 second, it was a beautiful sunset. I looked back,
Oh
there
my.
was a dust trail behind me, and for that second I was thinking, oh, I look like I'm in a Honda commercial. And in that second, while I looked back, my bike drifted to the side. I didn't notice,
Oh my
and
God.
I caught the gravel ruts, and it threw me to the ditch. I hit and I whiskey throttle,
Yeah.
and my bike went like this, and I went like that.
Oh my God.
The bike planted on the side. I didn't break anything because
Yeah.
that was a happy spot with lots of tall grass, so that kind of saved me.
Wow.
But I flew like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you prioritize safety when riding? And what steps do you take to stay safe on the road?
Well, I tend to be a conscious rider. I usually take it a bit easy. Don't want to push it too hard because it's a heavy bike.
Yes.
And for sure, I make sure I always wear proper gear with protection.
Protection.
Yes. The bike should be set up properly, proper tires for a proper task. If I want to go off-road, I need to make sure I have good tires. Also, I need to practice. And if I'm facing some conditions I'm not familiar with, I would probably ride a bit easy. I'll take it easy. Don't go too crazy, because I crashed a couple of times because I pushed it too hard. Yeah, so I learned it that way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Like many people.
yeah, so now I'm a better rider. So I learned quick, but it was tough. It was painful. Yeah. So proper gear proper correct setup of the bike, that's important too, and make sure you push yourself to the limit that you can actually afford, so you can actually have enough skills, right? So that's important too.
How do you handle unexpected situation or emergencies while riding? Do you have experience on that?
Well, my first crash I didn't manage well because I just went into a 90-degree corner on my cruiser, and the right turn was fine, and I was feeling happy, and I just sped up a little bit, and I didn't notice that the next turn was super close.
Wow.
I approached that turn too fast, and there was a drop of elevation down like this, and upcoming traffic was coming too.
Ooh.
And I got scared, and instead of trusting the bike and leaning more and committing to the turn, I got scared and looked to the shoulder of the road. As soon as I locked on the shoulder,
You go in there.
I just went down to the shoulder, and there was sandy surface on the shoulder, and I wiped myself out.
Wow.
I broke my clavicle bone.
Oh my
The bike
God.
survived. Otherwise, the bone was broken. I survived. But yeah, so now I'm trying to be more trustful to the bike, and at certain points, you need to look away from the obstacle. You need to look where you want to go, right? Otherwise, you end up in the obstacle,
Mhm.
right?
Nice.
So that's the main lesson for me, like for everyone.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the thing is, sometimes you just need to trust the bike more,
Yeah.
and then you just commit to it, and then it could be better.
Yes. I totally agree with you. What advice would you give to someone who is new to riding motorcycles?
Well, a friend of mine, when I got my first bike, told me, you know, Boris,
Boris.
motorcycle riders could be either fast, or others, they just live for longer, right? So if you go too fast, you may not live for too long,
Exactly.
right? So he advised me to be conscious on the road, but on the motorcycle, you need to be always relaxed in the Zen mode, but you also need to be focused at the same time.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's
Important
a
thing.
challenge, yeah. But
Beautiful.
otherwise, it's fun, yeah.
The next question is, what are some common misconceptions about motorcycle riders, and how do you address them? You know, the people is prejudice to us
They
sometimes.
think that motorcycle riders are crazy.
Yeah.
Well, a part of this mythology, I think the reason is, when I was taking my motorcycle riding class, and our instructor, he told us that by statistics here in Canada, in BC, over 30% of riders never went through a school.
Wow.
They managed somehow to pass the exam. They trained maybe with their buddies or somehow like this. Like he told me, I think 32 or 37% never went through a school.
Wow.
So these people, they were never really properly taught how to think when you ride a motorcycle,
Exactly.
and how to behave on the road when you're riding a motorcycle. You need to make sure you're visible to the people around. They are absolutely unaware of you. You need to be aggressively self-protecting when you're riding. Aggressively means you need to be really thinking quick and ahead of everybody, right? So these guys was teaching us how to think when you ride. So that's the main reason why people are crazy about motorcycle riders, because some of them actually never went through school, so they just do whatever they think is okay on the road, and sometimes they do crazy shit.
Okay, in order to be more commitment with your riding style, you can recommend to the people to take some kind of courses related about how can be more safety on the road.
You should be definitely taking proper classes. Make sure you take them all. You learn properly with good instructors.
Yeah.
And it depends on your style of your motorcycle. If it's a sport bike, you better go and maybe on a track and maybe learn some skills for the tracks, because it will make you better on the regular road, right? For these huge adventure motorcycles, right? Like this.
Yes.
You gotta take special classes for just that adventure riding style
Yeah.
because it's completely different. The
Exactly.
technique is different, and you need to learn it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges facing motorcycle riders today, and what can be done to address them? The biggest challenges for the riders today. What do you think about that?
Probably. Well, if we talked about the riders themselves, because if we assume that the rider takes care properly about everything, then it's the people around.
Mhm.
A lot of people, they're just unaware of motorcycles. They never look for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a concern. So, that's why some of our friends, when they ride motorcycles, and if it's a slow traffic, they never sit in slow traffic. They go on the shoulder right away and ride careful on the shoulder because it's safer than just stay in traffic. If it's a bit of a violation, but some cops even understand why they do it, because last year a guy was killed in a slow traffic.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing crazy. It was a slow traffic, and the guy
Wow.
from behind just crashed into the motorcycle because he never looked
No see.
properly, didn't see it.
Yeah.
But the guy was in front of him, and this traffic was slow.
Wow.
Right? It was stop and go, and some truck probably sped up without looking.
Yeah.
So that's the main concern, because people are unaware. They're not looking for motorcycles.
Yes.
That's
We have to be aware for that. Okay, nice. This question is interesting for me. I'm wondering to hear what you think. How you balance your love for motorcycles with your responsibilities for your family, work, and the others, commitments on your life.
Well, that's what I always remind myself to remember and keep in mind once I'm riding my motorcycle, that as much as exciting it is, I need to remember I have family back home.
Exactly.
Some responsibility.
Somebody wait for us.
So I cannot be just a crazy nuthead, I gotta be responsible and drive carefully. So that's my style. Because I get excited easily
Mm-hmm.
and get competitive easily, I know I can push myself. So yeah, I'm trying to be really responsible because I do have family. Lots of our family stuff, it's on me. So I gotta be taking it seriously.
Good.
Yeah, I even chosen this larger those saddlebags here because I know with this big old luggage I would be a bit slower on the road. And it's better for me and for my safety and for my family too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, finally, but not least, what are your future goals or plan as a motorcycle rider? Where are you planning to go? Where's your goals?
One of the plans is to go to Alaska
Go?
in the nearest future. I'm still thinking maybe this summer. If not this summer, maybe in the next one.
Yeah.
But there's an idea to go to Alaska
Okay.
and maybe down to California as well, and back through Montana and back home.
Beautiful. Another issue in your bucket list, another item, probably another spot, South America, some moment.
There's a lot of places in America, yes. As I said, California, Montana, that's a really good loop. Here up north in BC, it's amazing too. But the one bigger thing would be just to fly over the ocean to here, but right there. I would love to ride to Siberia. That would be
Wow. Really nice. Well, finally, Boris, I would like to ask if you can introduce by yourself to my community and say who you are, from where you coming here, and yeah, something about you, right?
Well, as you know, I grew up in Siberia, in Soviet Union, in Russia, and I came to Canada 20 years ago. And I work in the animation industry as an art director. So we produce cartoons, animation, and motorcycles are my hobby. And I play the guitar when I have time too. I have 3 kids. I'm almost 60 years old, and I want to ride for as long as I can. That's what I'm planning to ride safe.
Beautiful. Well, yes, I have to say thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me today in this beautiful spot. And yeah, we are lucky to have that chance to riding an amazing motorcycle like we having all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, man. Thank you. See you soon on the road.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Beautiful.